Hey, what's up, YouTube? Keep on rocking. I was supposed to make the Atari Jaguar video a few days ago, but it's a holiday season. Just been busy and just didn't feel like doing shit. So I'm just going to make this video just to, I like the Atari Jaguar. It was a piece of shit, colossal failure, but I still have a place for it in my heart. And I made that short video. Not a lot of people watched it, but I just wanted to do something different for real quick. Then I'll go back to music and maybe movies later. Like I said, I used to be a gamer, not so much anymore. Handhelds, sure, because I'm always on the go, or if I, when nature calls or something, just take the handheld with you. The hooking up shit, it's just a pain in the ass. That's why I have my laser discs and VHS, or VCR, and a couple of video games consoles. I have a lot of consoles, that's non-handheld, and I have even more handheld consoles. But it's just I don't feel like messing with unplugging them, hooking them up. It's just a pain in the ass. So the fast forward, the 2600 came out, and Atari was ahead of its time, and then NES and Sega jumped into it, Nintendo and Sega. Then in the 80s, Atari released 5200 and 7800. I think the 5200, if I remember right. Well, it could be the 7800. I didn't really look. It was the biggest console ever. The fucker was huge. It was like a big computer itself without the monitor. The damn thing was huge. And I still think it's the biggest console and heaviest console ever made. And those didn't sell well. They did the Atari Lynx, which I have. I love the Lynx. It's really underrated. And then they tried one more crack at it in the early 90s with the Atari Jaguar 30 years ago this year, 1993. Well, at first they were going to do the Atari Panther, which was a 32-bit console. But I guess they were working on both at the same time, but the Jaguar progression was so far advanced they canceled a 32-bit Panther. And they released this in 1993 this week, November 23rd, in the US anyway, the Atari Jaguar. And they call it the first 64-bit system. Do the math. That was their campaigns, as I said. And yeah, it was and it wasn't. There was two 32-bit processors to equal 64. It wasn't 64-bit by itself. And a lot of developers had a hell of a time trying to program games for it. So a lot of the big name, all the Japanese companies just didn't want to do it. So a lot of the Interplay and I forget what other ones, and Atari made their own games, and it just they rushed it, and a lot of the games look like 16-bit games because no one could program this shit for damn, and a lot of them are just ports. So that's another reason it failed. It went on to sell like 125,000 copies or less. The CD attachment only sold. They only produced 20,000. I think it only sold like 5 or 10,000. It's really rare to find, and mine works. At least it did when I tested it out earlier this week, first time in a couple years. And now I'll just talk about the games. First, when you bought the system, you were given this piece of shit. Where did you learn to fly? Cybermorph, which is like a polygon space shooter. It's not very good, and that bitch, every time you hit something, that's what she says. It's become a meme online. I also got the memory track, which holds added memory. But now I'm just going to talk about some of the games. Of course, the one I had in here. I never got into this game. I couldn't do it for shit. Alien vs. Predator, which is the most famous probably, and critically praised game, which is basically like a Doom clone, but you can play as Alien, Predator, or the Colonial Marine. The Marine is a lot easier to understand, that you have to shoot the aliens and predators. And the map on it's really weird. I can never figure it out. It gives you a map, but it doesn't make a damn bit of sense. When I try to play as Alien or Predator, I get killed so easily. It's like really quick. So you have to lay your eggs in people somehow. And Predator, I think you have to use like a stealth type mode or something. And another one of these that was ported over to this system was Wolfenstein 3D, which is a first-person shooter, sort of like Doom, but with like Nazi memorabilia, and Hitler is the main boss. It's really good. It's one of the best games on the system. Here's one that was also on a Genesis, I believe, too. Zool 2. It's like a Sonic ripoff, really quick play. You have to collect all these candies to advance to the next levels. Here's probably my first or second favorite game on the system. Another system highlight, Tempest 2000, which is basically an updated version of the arcade game. You can see where you have to take your ship thingy and go around the outside of these different shapes, and these things are coming to attack you, and you have to shoot them down. I like the arcade, and I love this game. There's actually a Tempest 3000 on that one DVD console. Now I forget the name of it. Nuon. So it's really rare. It's like 400, 500 bucks. But this is Tempest 2000, a great game, and it also has a pretty awesome soundtrack too. And let's see what else there is. Theme Park. Everybody knows that game. It was on Super Nintendo. Here's another one. I like it, but it just gets boring after a while for me. That's Iron Soldier, the mech game that the 90s had everywhere. The polygonal, big graphics. You can see they're all like polygons and, you know, not a lot of details to the buildings. But it's really slow, and I die real easily. But it's definitely shows off the system's power. Total Carnage just came out. I think it's a homebrew game, actually. It came out not that long ago, maybe 10 years ago. And it's a Super Smash TV, I think, sequel where it's a run and gun rail shooter, platform rail shooter. You can see on there. It's fun, but I die really easily on that too. Hover Strike, well, of course, it's the mid '90s. Everybody had to have that, like, cross-haired shooter tank type thing game. You can see where it's like crosshairs almost. There's a lot of them on the Genesis and 32X and Saturn, and it's okay. Some people like that type of stuff, but not my thing. I got a couple more I'll show you. Soccer Kid, which is a platform game where you're a kid and you have to kick your soccer ball at all these enemies, and you have to collect these different things like candy again. It's fun, but it gets it kind of gets monotonous after a while, so you can see that. I'll try to put videos up on it. We'll see if it works. I'm not very good at it, but we'll see when I upload it if it works. And here we go. I like this game. It's a Mortal Kombat ripoff, obviously. It's really choppy, but I mean, the gameplay is definitely not as good as Mortal Kombat. The game's not as good as Mortal Kombat, but if you're looking for an alternative that you might not know very well, this is a former rental, by the way. Ultra Vortex, which is pretty bad, but it's also fun in its own way. You can see the back. They also have this eye, and like at the top, I don't know, the damn player. You can see the eye moving when you play the fighting screen, and it's okay. It's not bad at all. And I got Ruinier Pinball here, steel sealed. Found it online, pretty cheap, like 10 bucks, but it's just a pinball game. But it's steel sealed, which is awesome. Too bad that wasn't Rayman. Rayman's the game I want so bad. It has the best graphics you ever seen. It showed what the Jaguar could do. It looks better than even 64 games, Nintendo 64 games. It's a beautiful game, and it's really one I want, but it's just really expensive. And since I don't game that much anymore, I haven't bought it. And here we go, Raiden, or however you want to say it. Also on Super Nintendo and I think Genesis. It's a really great shoot 'em up game. You can see right there, you take the ship and you just vertical shooter. It's fun. It's one of the better console highlights, I think. And then I got the CD, Blue Lightning, which is a pack-in. It's like a sequel to Cybermorph. It has the bitch also on it, but she has a blue face this time, and she's not as annoying. It's pretty good. It's not too bad. Here's probably the worst game for the Atari Jaguar, in my opinion. Highlander. It's really terrible. It's based off the movie or TV show. I can't remember. Christopher Lambert. I don't know if the game's based off the movies or shows or whatever, but I can't get out of the first level, or I can't even decide where to fucking go. Battlemorph. This is the one I was thinking of, not Blue Lightning. Battlemorph is the one with, I think, with the Cybermorph chick. Well, it's the game in here. Let me look. Oh, I can't open it. Maybe it is. Yeah, this is the sequel to Cybermorph. The Blue Lightning is just another one of those. It's almost an Afterburner clone. That's what I was thinking of, like the Afterburner on a 32X and Sega Genesis. Not as good though. But Blue Lightning's pretty. Battlemorph's pretty fun. Makes sense. Battlemorph, Cybermorph. I just got it mixed up. And they also had a port of the point and click adventure game Myst. I could never figure this fucking game out. I rented it a couple times back in the mid 90s. I didn't know what the hell to do. It visually looks well though. It's pretty awesome. So that's pretty much the Atari Jaguar. It came and went. They still do home brews now, which is pretty awesome to see. And there's one, you might see a white shell one. There's not very many of them, like a handful. And they became dental appliance cameras. Literally, they took the shell of it. And then that one Coleco Chameleon failure, he was a guy that took an Atari Jaguar shell and put like a Super Nintendo inside of it or something. It was a ripoff. Oh, I also wanted to show the controller, which is the strangest looking thing ever. 3 buttons, but it has all these. You have to put this what do you call it? Pad over, not the pad, but the. I know the word. It's slipped my mind. Where you have to put it over each button to tell you what to use. And yeah, actually, it's weird. It feels really good in the hands. It looks strange. It feels, but it plays well. They also had a 6-button controller, which I don't have. They're pretty rare to find. And so that's the Atari Jaguar. Once it came out, it failed miserably, like I said, and only sold like 120,000 copies. And even the 3DO, for example, sold 3 million copies, I think. And that failed. That sold over 10 times more than a Jaguar. I like the Jaguar because, I don't know, it's so bad it's good, kind of. But there are hidden gems on the game, the system. Like I said, you got Rayman, Tempest, Alien vs. Predator, I guess, Iron Soldier, I guess, Power Drive Rally. Power Drive Rally is a top-down racing game. It's really awesome. I don't have it, but it's really expensive too, of course. And I would love to play that. It looks really fun. Super Burnout's another arcade racing game when you're on a bike. But the sprites in the background look really good. So it has its moments. The Jag CD basically had Battle Morph. That's pretty much it. And the Primal Rage is probably the best game for it. They had like 15 games for it. And Primal Rage was also on the Genesis and I think Super Nintendo and all that. But it looks a lot better on here. It plays better and whatever. I can't even speak. Plays better and the graphics are look more crisp. So yeah, that's the Atari Jaguar CD. Do you like this console? Do you think it's a joke? I always had a place in my heart for it. I love it. It's really bad. So bad it's good, like the movies I like. So I just wanted to make a video because I saw it was the 30th anniversary this week, and I just wanted to give it some loving. So the next video will be back to music or movies again. And like I said, I'll try to put some video play of the games in here if I can figure it out. So until next time, I hope you had a great holiday here in the U.S. And get ready for Christmas. Yay. Whoop, whoop, right? So keep on rocking. Thanks for watching YouTube. I'll put a video here, and please subscribe. Peace and rock on. See you later.